guys, it's Annie, and I am so excited because I have a very special guest back again, Lucie England Deuce. Thank you so much for being here. Lucie is an amazing law of attraction, manifestation, personal development YouTuber. We just did a collaboration not too long ago and you guys loved it, so we're like, let's do it again. So today we're going to be talking about manifesting love, your soulmate, even aligned soulmate friendships, because Lucie herself has manifested her soulmate. So thank you for being here again.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much. It's an honor. I mean, I always say, Annie is actually one of the YouTubers who introduced me to the law of attraction. So, you know, a lot of my early days and building up my understanding of the law of attraction all came from this channel. So now to be speaking and sharing what I've learned from my personal experience is really cool.
I mean, so cool, especially to see how much you have manifested in your life and how powerful you are in everything that you do. So I'm excited that and honored that I was any part of that journey.
Absolutely, yes. So, you know, thank you so much for saying that. And I have finally mastered the art of manifestation in a lot of areas of life. I mean, I'm looking forward to my next level of just snapping my fingers and things happening instantly. We're not quite there yet. Yeah, you know, but I think it's important to share that when I first heard about the law of attraction, you know, I really was feeling quite stuck in a lot of areas in my life. As much as I believed in the law of attraction, I don't know how much I believed in myself, which ties very much into this topic of today's video, of attracting better quality people. You know, it all starts with us and our relationship with ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, what we believe we deserve. And not just about what we deserve in a sort of entitlement kind of way, but just in a, you know, in a law of attraction way, like when we've got a really good relationship going on with ourselves, then that's the frequency we're on. That's what, like, the radio station we're tuned into. So then in the other areas of life, the relationships part, you know, if you've got good, healthy relationship with you, good, healthy relationships with others can start to blossom and emerge.
Where was Lucie before she found and loved herself, and how that led to you finding this confidence, which led to you manifesting your soulmate? Like, what was that journey like, and then what did you do to get there?
Sure. Quick overview of my childhood. I'm very grateful. I have two amazing parents who I'll always be grateful for, and they are both entrepreneurial. They've always been into personal development, which was a real blessing to have a lot of access to that as a child. But the flip side of, you know, being brought up by parents who are really into like alternative things and alternative thinking, and, you know, there's probably a lot of people who subscribe to this channel who might classify themselves as like, you know, alternative, or that they think a little bit different to other people. They've got other ideas, and what can often happen is especially when you're a child, but even when you're an adult as well, what happens when you're different? Often you can be seen as weird, and I got a lot of that as a child. I was laughed at a lot by other kids who didn't get why I spoke a little bit different, I thought a little bit different. All of those things, like it doesn't always feel easy to be different when you're a child, right? Even as an adult, it might not feel easy, but certainly as a child, I experienced quite a lot of people laughing at me and teasing me and making fun of me for being who I am. And so understandably, that knocked a lot of my confidence. And as a result, I mean, maybe anyone else who's ever been bullied can relate to this. When you get bullied for just being you, what do? You shrink a little bit, right? You don't want to stick out so that you don't feel that pain of being hurt or teased again, right? And especially in my awkward teenage years, I kind of tried to be someone that I'm not. for a lot of the time. And then continuing to university as well, I felt this immense pressure to be cool, be likable, be lovable. And so I was so focused on wanting to be these things that I was really tearing myself away from who I actually am, which then meant that any friendships and relationships that I did develop, they weren't necessarily seeing who I actually am. And I thought that was a good thing for protection. But it's in terms of a spiritual journey and being in alignment and manifesting things effortlessly, the ultimate goal is to be as authentically you as possible, so that you're in alignment with your inner being, so that when your inner being and you are in alignment, all sorts of magical things can happen, right? You know, and I'm grateful for all of the friendships that I've had throughout school, throughout university. I did have pretty good friendships, you know, and I'm still in touch with quite a lot of them today, which is lovely. But in particular, when we're looking at like romantic relationships, you know, looking back at the relationships I had before meeting Jamie, who really is my perfect match. These previous relationships, I, again, always felt like I couldn't be who I truly was, for fear that I might get laughed at a little bit again, might get teased, and that they might not love me for being who I truly am, right? That was probably what it was at the very core, at the very root. So as a result, those relationships I was in before, sure, we had happy moments, sure, we felt in love at the time, but I knew that they weren't the one, for the reason that I couldn't be myself. I think that was it. I think there was a part of me that still always knew that the person that I am, that I would love to be with, like the best possible relationship, the one that would feel right, the one that ultimately I would dream of settling down with one day. Or again, if we're talking about friends, it does kind of fit, like your ultimate soul sisters or soul brothers are people where you can just totally be you and they love it, and they're cheering you on and you feel completely at ease and comfortable in their presence, right? That's kind of like how I would describe what it would feel like, what it feels like to have true friends, soulmates, and relationships as well. What needed to change? What needed to change was me no longer hiding who I truly am, and instead healing my relationship with me, forgiving myself for being so self-critical, and day by day, step by step, being kinder to myself, celebrating all of my quirks. And if people, and this was what is interesting, what always scared me to not do that was thinking, oh, if I just be myself, like I'll get bullied all over again. And this was the fear, the invisible wall of fear that stopped me from just being me. What will people think was the big fear. Now, interestingly, the more boldly you just own being who you truly are, sure, you might get a few sniggers from people who feel uncomfortable you being authentically you because they're uncomfortable being authentically them. And if you can understand that where people are coming from and however they react to you says more about them and what they're currently working through, what they're currently dealing with, says so much more about them than what it says about you. And if you can be okay with those people maybe not liking you being you, and so that's fine, they don't have to be your friend anymore. If you can also be okay with potentially losing some people in your life. This is another big one, the fear of abandonment, the fear of not having any friends, staying in a relationship for the wrong reasons because it's just too scary to be on your own, It's almost like jumping and trusting that there'll be a net there to catch you. So the scary jump that I took was going all in to being my authentic self, and also being okay with if some people didn't like it and had to maybe leave my life. Because I think I'd reached a point where I was so tired of not being who I truly am, that it wasn't worth having holding on to maybe some friendships that might not withstand the test of me becoming the best version of me. This is the other thing, is that the true friends will stay. It's a great test. It's a great filtration process. Like, how many of them still love you for being you? Well, this is the scary part, is if there's a concern, if there's a fear that no one will love you for being you, this is what can get in our way. So let me tell you now the story of what changed. So, and by the way, you are perfectly, beautifully, imperfectly lovable for who you are in your most authentic form. In fact, you being your authentic self is going to be 10 times sexier than a version of you where you're maybe covered up or being another version of you. So, thanks to the universe guiding me in detours that I didn't even realize was all part of the journey I had to go through, I got to grow through, I felt this huge pull to move countries and to live on my own, right? This was 2 years of university, and then I chose a course where I would get to spend the third year abroad. This was like the reason why I chose Spanish, was because I was like, I get to go abroad for a year. That was like why I chose it at university. So the year came for me to go to Spain, and I had options. You know, I could have moved, I could have traded universities and gone and studied at another university and been surrounded by new people. I could have got an internship and worked in a company like that. But I chose this completely other route. And I chose that I wanted to move, did I choose? I think I wanted all of those things, but none of those things seemed to be working. So I was trying to apply for jobs and stuff, and it was like the darkest recession that Spain had ever seen. So they were laughing at me like, look, we don't have enough jobs for people in Spain, let alone, you know, someone who doesn't speak Spanish properly. So it kind of caused me to feel like, whoa, well, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. And then one opportunity remained. One opportunity appeared. And that was to go to this part of Spain that I had never heard of. You know, my dream was to go to Barcelona or Madrid, go to this town that no one's ever heard of, work in this school that you've never heard of. You know, at least you've got a job on a piece of paper, and then you can do really whatever you want when you get there, right? So it wasn't my first or second or third choice to go to this place, but I love talking about these sort of detours that I've experienced in my life where things haven't gone to my plan, and boy, am I glad that they didn't, because I would never have met my soulmate, right? So then I end up going to this small town that I've never heard of, and I decided, what can I get excited about? So what excited me was that actually, wow, maybe this is going to be even better than going to Barcelona or Madrid. This is right by the sea, and it's this small town, and you know, I can really like start my own life here. And there was an opportunity for me to rent a place on my own. So that was a huge, I mean, I'm sure you know, Annie, like the experience of living on your own, as much as it can be liberating, it can be lonely, especially at first if it's like something you've never done before. I don't know how you felt when you first did it, but for me, I was like, I didn't realize how quiet it would be. You know, like you close the front door and no one is going to open it or close it other than you. Like there's not going to be anyone to go, hi, I'm back. You know, that's it. You're home. It's quiet. That's it. I mean, you have Louise, to be fair, so it's a little different. But yeah, so there I was, brand new country, didn't know anyone in this tiny little town, living on my own, without a cat or a dog to keep me company. And it was, at times, very difficult, very lonely, and quite scary as well at times, you know. And what it forced me to do was have a good look at my relationship with me, because there were so fewer distractions than normal. You know, I did a lot of social media scrolling and stuff, but after a while, I got bored of it. And I was like, I just want to go for a walk on the beach on my own. I just want to, like, since I have all the time in the world and I don't have to socialize with anyone, which is actually quite liberating, like, ooh, I actually don't have to please anyone else. I actually don't have to go to a club that I don't actually want to go to. I actually don't have to go to that dinner party that I wasn't really in the mood to go to. Like, I get to be so selfish and just spend all my time with me. So I was like, let's write this whole long list of all the things that I want to be and do and achieve and figure out. And so for 3 months, it was all just me and pretty much no one else. And I not only learned how to be my own best friend properly for the first time in my adult life, but also I noticed so many more synchronicities from the universe in those 3 months than I think any other time in my entire life. Like, things where you're like, whoa, is that what just happened there? Or I'd ask for like a sign. I remember being in the bath one night and I was like, universe, if you can hear me, please just give me a sign. And then the faucet right above my head just went bloop. Just like, whoa! I was like all alone in my house thinking, okay, I'm not alone, but I don't feel scared. I feel guided and supported and protected. So this time where I had just time with me, I built that relationship up with myself and with the universe. And then 3 months into that, Jamie walked into my life and just everything was easy. Everything aligned. I liked him at the same time that he liked me. And, you know, we just had so much in common and he was so easy to get along with. And because I'd had this time to heal, I was like, I've got nothing to lose here. I'm going to show up and be me. And if he doesn't like that, that's okay. I can go back to enjoying my own life on my own where I don't have to please anyone else. I can always go back to that and I'm happy with that now. So finding your soulmate, a huge part of it is being happy and complete and feeling whole and complete exactly as you are. So that if it's perfect, great. If it's not, you can also say, I'm going to sit it out and maybe this is not the right fit. Since that journey, since that was 7 years ago now, I think, yeah. So since then we've gone on we moved in pretty quickly actually. It all just sort of felt right. We moved in pretty quickly and then he decided to move back to the UK with me when I finished my year abroad. And then we moved in together here after I finished my studies, and then he proposed to me last year in the best possible way that I could have dreamed of. Like, he nailed it. He hired a boat. Have you heard of Esvedra? It's this magical island off the coast of Ibiza that is said to be the 3rd most magnetic point on Earth. And like lots of people go there to meditate at sunset. And I'd never gone there before. So he surprised me and took me out to this rock and like hired a boat and we went around it, and then the sun was setting behind this island and he played one of our favorite songs and he nervously proposed, and it was just like, whoa, this is a dream that's happening right now. And yeah, you know, and everything and not just the fun like epic moments, but also like the everyday is so effortless. Like, we're such a team. It's probably not easy being in a relationship with me because I am so alternative and wacky and different, and I got all my morning rituals. And with my businesses, you know, sometimes I'm working late and on Zoom calls at all hours of the day and night, and he's here for the whole journey and he loves and supports all of it. He's just awesome, and he's got his own life as well. And so, you know, that's a bit of a story of how it worked out for me. But basically, you know, interestingly, maybe some people may have clicked on this video thinking like, what can I write on my scripting letter? Or what can I say as an affirmation? Or what subliminals can I listen to manifest and attract better people? But really, if you can have the courage to do what's going to be the most fulfilling journey that you could ever go on, which is to heal those wounds that all of us pick up, and to, you know, cultivate a best friendship with yourself, so that it's like, whether they come into my life now or whether they don't, I'm actually really happy and whole and complete exactly as I am, that any other people will be a beautiful bonus. Then the most beautiful part is that then when the time is right for you and them, it will happen, and you will you'll find each other and you won't miss each other, and you won't have to try hard to make it work. It will just fit. And that's how it should be, I think.
Yeah, so powerful. Do you have any other little tips that you can recommend for people really attracting in their soulmate?
Yeah, I think the last thing that I would share is that, I know in this video I talked a lot about, the importance of healing and rebuilding that relationship with ourselves. But I don't want it to come across as, causing people to feel like, oh yeah, because I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. You're perfectly exactly where you're meant to be on your journey right now. And that's the abundant way to look at it. This is a new piece of information that I learned the other day is, I was always focused on like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have enough time. That's a scarcity mindset. So I'm instead affirming to myself that I have all the time I need, and where I'm at right now, like the progress I've made so far is exactly the progress I was meant to make so far. So you're not behind. It's not like you're not where you're meant to be yet. You're exactly where you're meant to be now. This moment and however your relationships are right now, it's okay. It's exactly how it's meant to be now. And don't let the journey of healing or becoming an even better version of you feel overwhelming. You don't have to wait until you are perfect to encounter better quality people into your life. I wasn't perfect when I met Jamie, and I'm still not perfect now. But at least during that time, I was putting more of my focus onto taking care of me and respecting my boundaries and being happy with where I'm at. That's a big thing about manifesting anything, is also being happy and grateful for where your life is now, rather than when the attention is focused on, I don't have enough money, I don't like where I live, I wish I had a partner that was better, or I wish I had a partner full stop. We're focusing on all the stuff that we don't have. So maybe that also, the simplified version of my story is, I just stopped focusing on what I didn't have and started really enjoying being single and having a great relationship with myself and enjoying life. And then what is it that even people who aren't into spirituality, they're like, you know how it is, as soon as you stop looking, the guy that you're looking for comes right into your life. Like it's a thing that girls say. So, people have been saying it for years, and it's true.
That's perfect. That's so beautiful. Yay. Well, thank you so much for your encouragement, your advice, and your story. I know it's going to be super powerful. And I just want to also encourage you to stay open, again, love yourself, and know that your person is out there, and it's more about finding yourself. You're already there. More so letting go of the conditioning so you can have access to yourself, which then your person will find you. So thank you so much for everything. I love having you on my channel.
Thank you for having me, Annie.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure, always.
Yes, and make sure to go check out Lucie's channel. She posts 3 videos a week, so she has a ton of content on law of attraction, manifestation, personal development. I highly recommend going over there, subscribing to both of our channels, hitting those bells so you know when we post our weekly videos. But with that being said, thank you all for joining today, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, guys.